Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, this is Second Act with Kat. I'm Kat, or Kathy, and we're going to kind of cover today. I think we're just going to do some basics on what's going on in my day. I just finished up. It is almost noon, I think, yeah, and I have not broken my fast yet. And so I usually eat, my window of eating is from 12 until 8 at night, so 12 p.m. till 8 at night. So that is what they consider an 8-16 ratio for fasting. That works great for me. That means my window of eating is 8 hours and 16 hours of fasting, which seems like a lot, but it's actually not bad because sleeping is counted in there too as well. So gives me plenty of time to eat my meals. I typically eat 2 meals a day, and then if I need a snack in between my meals, I might have like a light, healthy snack. But my meals they're kind of larger meals, and because they're high in fat, you feel full for a lot longer in there, and it really helps. So that's where, I listen to my body, and if I'm hungry, I'll have a snack. So sometimes I'll do like a really heavy workout. I'll be using a lot of weights in there, heavier weights, and if that happens, sometimes you're hungrier, and you need to eat something in between and stuff too. I also, because I do live such a low carb lifestyle, technically probably keto, I'm trying to get back to being more at the keto ratios and having my carbs down around like 20 grams a day. I don't really track though, and so that's why I say I live a low carb lifestyle. So there might be some carbs that slip in my diet, and I'm okay with that. They're usually complex carbs. They're not anything like loaded in sugar. There's no grains. Nothing like that. So it's not breads, donuts, brownies and stuff like that in my diet. If there's carbs that are getting in my diet, it's typically, through some type of vegetable in there too, which I think is needed. I am not against having some vegetables in my diet. So, all right. What I plan to do today, I've talked a little bit on my intro and some of my other videos. Unfortunately, I was impacted with a job loss this year. So I applied to one job already, and I have a couple of jobs up that I need to apply for. But I said I'm going to break my fast. I'm so hungry. And also I'm trying to track and keep a better idea on my ketones. I don't always do that, but when I'm trying to get back into weight loss, then I try to just kind of keep an eye on how am I doing with ketones? Am I in ketosis? And I've had a long fast in there, and I had a good walk. So I'm hoping, I just measured my ketones yesterday and it was at 0.3, which is on the low side. I had ketones, but they were low. So I'm hoping that it's up a little bit higher. I've seen it at 0.7 before. I'd love to see that. I think that would be ideal. So if I'm around anything over 0.5, I'd feel good about. So I'll show you that. I also try to keep an eye on my sugar levels too as well. So I am going to check my sugar, and I'm going to check my ketones. I'm going to do that right now. I probably should have been like squeezing my finger. Every time I poke my finger, it takes forever to get the blood to come out. Icy blood running through my veins, I guess. So I have everything ready. I have 2 meters. I didn't think about getting a blood sugar meter, a glucose meter, initially, and I got one that measures your ketones first, and then I went and got a glucose meter. And then after I got the glucose meter, I learned that I could have gotten an all-in-one meter. So if there's any companies out there that would like to send me a meter that measures both, I would love that. That would be great. But I already have all the strips and everything for doing the 2 different ones. And so it's easy. Once I prick my finger, I just make sure that I go ahead and just dab each strip. So I will turn the camera so you guys can see. I still need to prick my finger. This should have a lancet in there. Yeah, this one's got a lancet. I've already just washed my fingers, so I'm all clean. And this is, it feels like, you know, just getting snapped with a rubber band. It only hurts for a second, and then you're all good. I'm going to put the strips. I had the strips set, ready to go. And all right, and now we're just gonna fill that, and let's hope. Like I said, I usually gotta help the blood a little bit along. All right, that should be a good one. For some reason, my ketone one. Actually, I'm gonna do this one first. Okay, I think that one's working. My ketone one works great. Oh, wow, my sugar's a little bit higher. Usually it's at 100 is the highest I ever see my sugar levels at, or under. Usually I'm like somewhere around 95 to 100. It's at 114. And my, let me clean myself up. I am bleeding. Okay. So I'll clean everything up real good in just a second and get rid of that lancet. But I'm not bleeding anymore, so okay. One of the things that got me on wanting to live a low-carb lifestyle and really watching how I'm eating and doing clean eating and really watching my sugar is that diabetes runs in my family heavily, especially on my dad's side. So my grandma was diabetic. My dad was diabetic, to the point where he was taking insulin shots too. And then my brother is diabetic. My uncle is diabetic. So I knew the cards were not in my favor, that there was a really good chance that I could end up with diabetes. I'm still surprised. Like, I see that 114, and I will most likely recheck my levels later on today because I'm really surprised that I'm at 114. There's really like no reason why I should be at 114. Like, I've been fasting since, and I probably had something at like 9 o'clock last night, but it's noon. So if anything, I would have thought that my sugar level, my glucose would have been low. I definitely was thinking it was going to be low this morning. The 0.4 on ketones, like I said, it was at 0.3 yesterday, so I do have a little bit more ketones in my body today. So I'm hoping that I continue to see that increase. I've really been trying to eat clean. I spent the day with my mom yesterday. I didn't do any videoing and just spent the day with her. But I actually was really good the whole time. We went out to breakfast and I had an omelet. It was like a meat lovers, well, it wasn't even meat lovers. It had like a variety in there. It had sausage, ham, bacon. There were some carbs in there. So, zucchini, mushrooms. It was loaded and it was so good. And then I had a choice. Like, I could have had toast or hash browns. And I said, nope. Can you substitute something else? And she put tomato slices on there. And my mom offered me hash browns. And I said, nope, I'm not going to eat. I love hash browns. And I think it's still fine to have a little bit of complex carbs like potatoes, starchy. It typically does raise up my sugar levels and gets me out of ketosis much faster if I have some potatoes in my diet. Even sweet potatoes, and I love sweet potatoes. So if I'm in a weight loss and I'm trying to lose weight, I will cut a lot of that stuff out of my diet. So So I ate really good. When I met with my mom, I got there a little before noon, and my stomach, I was hungry. And so we immediately went out to breakfast. So we got there probably closer, like 12:30. So I had been fasting. I did great with that. And then after we were done with the breakfast, our brunch, we did some shopping. Oh, actually, I'll show you guys. If anybody followed me on my Alaska trip, I had picked up a couple of prints, and I showed the prints in my souvenir video. And so I had wanted to get a picture frame to, oh, there's a glare on there. Oh, you can actually see the phone. Oh, there, if I kind of turn it a little bit. So while we were shopping, we went to a couple different stores, and I found this frame, and I thought it was perfect. It was matted. The size was great. It had 2 spots in there for 5x7 prints. And so I haven't hung it up on the wall yet, but I have it propped up on my desk for now. And I will hopefully get it hung up. I was thinking I had like those command strips, the ones that are specific for picture frames. And I have a ton of command strips, but they're for like posters. And so I was like, that's a bad idea. So either I will put a nail in the wall and we'll just hang it that way, or I'll have to pick up some command strips. So anyways, had a great visit with her. We went to a park near her house. We walked around there. There's a nature center. We went into the nature center. They had a lot of little aquariums and different types of animals inside the nature center. And then they even have like this window that looks out onto all their bird feeders. And you can just sit inside and watch the birds come by. And oh my gosh, we saw so many different birds, nuthatches, woodpeckers. What else did we see? Doves. And then we saw a lot of chipmunks were in there. There was what was that called? A woodchuck, I think it was. There was a woodchuck in there, one red squirrel, a little aggressive, and I think we saw some other birds in there too as well, like sparrows and stuff like that. But the woodpeckers were beautiful, and lots of nuthatches, and that was a great time. It was really nice to spend the day with my mom, and then I came home and I had dinner. I had another bowl of that cheddar broccoli soup that I made this week. That was so good, and I'm so glad. I was starving when I got home, and it was a long drive. It took me like an hour to get home. So within that time, like with the drive and just the long day, I was hungry. It was after 6. So it was perfect time for dinner. And I'm so glad I had the soup, because if I had not had the soup where I could just warm it up within, a minute, I might have been tempted to eat something that I shouldn't have. So I ate the soup. And then I had some chicken sausage, and I was good for the night. It was perfect. So, and then I had like some Halo Top ice cream, and I had the feeling, had I not had the Halo Top ice cream, that could have thrown off my sugar. Maybe that's why my sugar is high. And then also I could have probably had more ketones. So I'm thinking I need to eliminate the Halo Top ice cream. And I know that's like dirty keto. It's not the best ingredients in there too as well. So my fault. All right, I am going to eat. I have rattled on long enough. It's 12:15 and I am super hungry. I am going to go make myself some an egg scramble. So I'll put a couple eggs in there, cottage cheese, and finish up some of my lunch meat. I did do it in the video the other day, which I'm going to be releasing today. So I know it hasn't been released yet, but it's almost finished. So I'll have that video out, and then you can see the egg scramble. I give all influencers credit for videoing when they're cooking. I'll get better. It is not easy. I'll tell you that. Definitely not easy. So, all right, I'll be back. I love my daily walks every day. I usually try to get 2 walks in every day, one in the morning and one in the evening. And there is a park right by my house with the river that runs through it. and I just wanted to share a little bit of my daily walks with you guys. It was a beautiful day when I went for this walk. The weather was perfect. The sun was feeling so good on my skin, and it was just so serene and relaxing. So here's just a tiny bit of the walk. There's a little downtown area too as well by my house. So after I cut through the park, then I usually walk through the downtown area. All right, and started my workout. So this was a short workout. I was just feeling a little off yesterday. Felt healthy, but just mindset wise, I was just a little down, and I just was not feeling like putting in a ton of time into the workout. So I did another Tracy Steen workout. As I told you guys, I love her workouts. This was a 33-minute beginner cardio, core, and balance and stability workout, which is great for, I feel like any, especially women, as you get older. Working on your core, your stability, your balance is so important. You just want to make sure that you're maintaining your strength. And if you're working on your stability, it really helps with making sure that you don't do any falls as you get older in life. Unfortunately, our bones get a little bit more fragile. And so that's why it's so important to get these type of workouts in. So I highly recommend this one. I stepped it up a little bit, so like my weight choices might have been a little heavy. Actually, they were just 8-pound weights, so they weren't that heavy. And I did step up the cardio part a little bit, but you could definitely, listen to your body and try to just, make choices, back it down a little bit. But I really recommend Tracy's workouts and adding these into your routine, changing it up a little bit too as well, like I did. Like I was supposed to be a cardio day yesterday. So I did do that part. I just said, I think I want a shorter workout. So here I am doing the cool down in here. And then following that, I made dinner, which I do have a picture of it. I ended up grilling steaks last night for dinner, and I added a little blue cheese sauce. All right, everybody, it's getting late. It's a little after 9:30. I did not get my nighttime walk in. It got really dark early tonight, so it was even like before 8 o'clock. I don't know, I was just moving slow today. Just off today for some reason. I did get my workout in, which I videoed, and that was, I decided I would do was a cardio and kind of like balance routine, which I've never really worked on my balance before, and that was actually pretty helpful. It was a beginner workout. I did try to step it up a little bit, make it a little bit more advanced. And I was sweating, so I feel like my heart rate was up during the workout. So not as strenuous as my normal workouts, but it still felt like a good workout. So I would definitely recommend, and especially for anybody out there, if there's anybody that's just getting into working out, that would be a great one to add into your routine to start yourself off. I would definitely recommend, especially if your balance is something that needs to be worked on. If you're older, anybody in their 50s, later 50s, even beyond 50, and you want to work on your balance, that's something definitely, as you age, that's something you definitely want to keep in mind and make sure that you are keeping your core is strong, your balance is good, just less likely to fall as you get older. So working on that is definitely something to keep in mind. So I was surprised. Good workout. Another one of Tracy Steen's, and that was first time. I think she just released that one, so I think it was a newer one, and I've never done it before. So I enjoyed it. Dinner was good. I grilled steaks. I did take a picture of that, so I'll make sure to include that so you guys can see what I made for our dinner tonight. The guys had mashed potatoes. I'll admit I just did instant. I don't eat the potatoes, and they're fine with instant. We had broccoli. I had the broccoli. I made a salad for myself, and these little cheese bites. which I have a little bit more carbs than I normally eat. So, but it was good. I enjoyed that, and I did recheck my glucose to see what my sugar levels were at later today. I did it before dinner just to see where I was at. So I waited quite a bit after having my breakfast brunch, and I was down at 114 when I last measured it, and then I think it was at 104. It seems right. I don't know if it'll pull back up again. It should pull back up again. I have the meter right in front of me. I think it'll say the last reading. 108? That doesn't seem right. 101. Yeah, here's the 114 from this morning, and then the next one was 101. So not bad. 101. So I will take that. I think that's a good reading. Tomorrow I'll probably check my ketones again and my glucose to see where my sugar levels are at. So I'll check that again. I don't know. I might just let everybody know. And then my weight. I've been trying to get back on the scale and weigh myself weekly too. So I didn't show that in the video, but I did weigh myself today, and I'm at 156 pounds. I would like to be closer to 150. A number on a scale is just a number, but I also know where I want to be in a healthy range that's good for me, for my size and everything, and my age. I am 5'8", and I think I've already mentioned before, but I'm 51, and I feel like 150 is a good weight for me. 148 to 150, I think I can maintain that and be comfortable. Anything below that, and I think I'm just getting to the point of it's too hard to maintain. But I also feel like I could lose a little bit more and be at a healthier weight. So that's my thought. So tomorrow I'm going to try to get the 2 walks in. I really had meant to even pull out my walking pad, and instead I had gotten an email from a recruiter. I think that's what threw me off today, was that I did finally get a recruiter reach out to me, and I was excited because it's been a while since I've heard anything. I haven't had an interview in a while, and I've just been really kind of down and frustrated about that. And so I actually had a recruiter look me up, find me, and reach out, and it was legit. That's the other thing you got to watch out for. I've gotten plenty of emails where it's somebody just preying on you because you're just at a vulnerable state in your life. You're looking for work and you're desperate, and then people prey on people like that, and it's just awful. So fortunately, I'm pretty good at catching those emails and just deleting them immediately. But this one I knew, I had heard of the company. It's local. Everything looked legit in the email and everything like that. Plus, she had included the job posting for the job, and I looked it up and found the job listed on multiple sites and everything. But the pay was bad. That was the only thing. The salary was really, really low. It was more than half of what I had been making before that. And so I think that's what just had me down. I was like, oh my God, I finally heard something. And then I don't think anybody would feel right about taking a position that's like half of what their salary. And I'm willing to, know that maybe I have to compromise a little bit, but I don't think I need to compromise that much. So anyways, that's what's thrown me off today and had me a little bit down. And tomorrow will be a better day, and we'll take it from there. So I think I'm going to make chaffles tomorrow, and maybe I'll try to record that so people can see what chaffles are. That's like a keto version of a waffle. A lot of us use that as a way to add in bread. You can make a sandwich with a chaffle. You can make just waffles with it. It just has a lot of variety with it. And so I usually will make myself, I have a chaffle maker. A lot of them, people have just like the mini dash that makes one. I do have that. But I also have one that makes 4 chaffles at a time. So I usually make quite a few when I make a batch, and then I'll keep them in the fridge or the freezer, and then they last me for the week. And so anyways, it's a good option in there. I like having it. I'm out of chaffles, and so I don't know, it'll be fun. Something to look forward to tomorrow for myself. And sometimes I just need to give myself a break. Like, I always get up in the morning and I just spend so much of my day focused on trying to look for a job, and I can tell I'm burning out. Like this week, I'm burning myself out. So I think I need to just cut myself a little slack. Tomorrow's a Friday. We'll carve out amount of time, but I think I need to just get a block of time for looking for the job and just say, all right, you're done for the day, and you don't need to go back again. So I think that's my big thing. So anyways, enough of that. I've talked too much and rambled on too long. So I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for watching. If you've lasted this long, please hit the little bell, the notification, subscribe, like, comment, and all those good things. So take care, and looking forward to seeing you guys in my next videos.